Coming to you live from the heart of Roseville, California. I'm your host, Andrew, and my co-hosts here are
Roger
and Matt.
And this is Cryptid versus Cryptid.
See, that was fucking easy.
Worried about nothing, dude.
Yeah, it was fine.
Well, we're already 20 seconds in, so we're not going back.
And we're not stopping now.
So before we jump right into the show today, we got a few things we want to talk about. First, a big thank you. Actually, you guys talked about something else. I have to pull it up.
Well, first off, we figured out who that 5 stars was, so thank you to, you know who you are. That's all I'm going to say about that one. But we had no other 5-star reviews that had any words to them, so there's nothing for me to recite out this podcast. But, you know, I get it. You guys are shy, so whatever.
They'll come out of the cave soon.
Yeah.
Not the closet? Am I allowed to make that joke?
We'll cut it out in post.
No, we won't. So, a special shout out and a special thank you to Gregory, who sent us our first fan email. That's fucking awesome.
That was legit.
Saying he loves the show, first time listener, which I think most people are.
Since there's only been 2 episodes out so far. This will be the 3rd.
Yeah, so I'm not going to delve into the whole email and like read the entire thing, but he just talks about critiques are, the rating on the intelligence for the Dogman, which is very appreciated. Love hearing the opinions of others, and we have special plans for episode 5. You'll just have to wait and see. We're working on like a pretty big budget project right now.
We're trying to upgrade the setup. All right, we're trying to get out of the bedroom environment.
Yeah, we're kind of trying to get out of the studio.
We're trying to get people
bedroom.
on. You know, the bedroom's not a good place to have like guests, so we're trying to,
3 people is enough.
Yeah, so we're trying to upgrade this setup a little bit.
So hopefully by episode 5 we can have it all done. We can have a guest on the show. We've already got one in mind. You probably know who you are. And the other person who thinks they're going to be a guest, it's not you. But yeah, is there anything else we want to get out at the beginning? We got plenty of time to talk.
No. I mean, you're probably wondering why we have plenty of time to talk. This episode probably isn't going to be the longest one, just because of the fact that the 2 contenders, before going... We choose the contenders first, and then we research them.
Unless we have like a little bit of prior knowledge, it's almost just going in completely blind.
Yeah, so we've heard of them, maybe, but that's about it. So then we go and do research. Turns out the 2 contenders we chose had very little in the way of any anecdotal evidence. So
I just had something on my head that I want to say before we jump. Oh, that's right. So let's put this out in the beginning and at the end. Mm-hmm. But let's get in the beginning for people that don't stick around. If you like the show, please go and leave a 5-star review on any of the podcast platforms you can, and send us an email at which ones you left it on. All we know is that Apple Podcasts and iTunes does reviews. We haven't found any, or I haven't
and
found
apparently on Android there's no way to like leave a review on any of the things you listen to us on, so an email's appreciated, because if you did leave a 5-star review, I will read it out on the podcast. I'm saying
definitely
here now.
Definitely send emails. That is my favorite part about the whole thing. It's cool seeing our downloads build up. Quick little pat on the back for all of us. We just hit 120 downloads in total.
That's just wild. I mean, passing 100
it's
in the
been
first
like maybe
2
a
episodes
little more
is
than
crazy.
a month now.
Yeah,
we've accumulated 122 in 2 episodes.
Yeah, that's wild. So thanks for the support.
Totally forgot to turn that off, but we're not starting
over.
You
can cut out the underlying too. There's like an option in the... Okay, that's definitely...
That would be a Patreon exclusive cut right there.
We fucked up the whole thing there.
But is that... Oh, thank you to the 2 subscribers on Google Podcasts. Finally, I was able to see the stats for the show on there. So we got 2 subscribers. Pretty epic.
Also, we've got a listener who's downloaded from apparently Down Under. So I'm not going to throw on the accent because I can tell you 2 are going to totally give me flack for that. So I'm not going to do that.
Everybody would enjoy a good laugh.
Yeah, bro. Come on.
Nah, I don't feel like getting roasted after this.
You were doing it. I thought you were doing it in the kitchen.
You already did it.
Okay, I was doing it in the kitchen. Listen.
I'm listening. Hit us with it. You look like you're struggling.
I don't want to fuck this accent up the first time it goes out. But I just want to say thanks, mate. That was wrong. That was a British one. See, I fucked it up.
Oh, man. And we can't forget about our French listener either.
Oh, yeah. That guy, I mean, a legend from, I think he was the first episode.
He's seen the second episode, too, unless that person also lives in the same exact
that guy,
place.
I can't do a French accent for shit. I never even knew French, so.
Oui.
Yeah, but hey, there you go. That works.
Oui. Alright, well, let's hop into the action. So, a little preface about the Megaconda. Every single article online is just a copy and paste.
Yeah. Literally, we know pretty much, like, 3 things about it.
Yeah.
And
so there won't be a link to the source, because you can just go anywhere online and find it. But I'll hit us with the Megaconda history first. Very quick. First sighting was in 1984 when a group of Brazilian natives claimed to capture a snake that was 131 feet long in the Amazon rainforest. To this day, not a single biologist has recognized any living reptile near that size. The natives said they found a cow inside the stomach of the snake, thus dubbing it Matoro, aka the bull killer. And just a little fun fact, the longest recorded and actually recognized anaconda is 27.65 feet long.
yeah.
That's all I got.
And if you take the first part of what he said and copy and paste it onto literally any site, that's what you've got. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Hold
those exact
Hold
words.
on. Are you telling me I'm plagiarizing right now?
No, I'm just saying
saying
that's literally, they took that same, from wherever originally it was, they took that same thing, copy and pasted it everywhere else that they talk about it. So that's pretty much all there is for history.
And
That's
like, I've seen a second paragraph, but I've seen it on a bunch of other sites too, just that follows that one, but it doesn't like add any kind of information.
I've seen some that add some stuff, but it's more of like.
Well, some are like, oh, it's like in the old times, you know.
Yeah, back when the dinosaurs roamed the land, there was a
That's
snake.
what's
That's
going
exactly
on.
what
Yeah,
it
that's what
is.
it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. So then I guess we don't have any stories to go along with this one.
No.
I mean, because that's like the only historical and story account.
Yeah.
I imagine there's claims people throughout the years, but I doubt they're recorded online.
The only other thing I know is that they made a movie in 2010 about it that is very, very terrible. I didn't watch it, but I've seen a few clips from it, and it is not good.
Also, Lost Tapes did an episode on it too, so they'll probably have a little more history than us.
I think I saw they had the article on the Lost Tapes website for the Megaconda. And I was going to rewatch the episode. I just had no time, in the last 2 weeks to do it. But, so with that very quickly out of the way.
Woo! So, Megaconda history. Let's go, guys. Nice.
Let's talk Megaconda stats/abilities. So,
Alright,
didn't get many abilities because it's not really like some crazy animal.
I think
it's
you
just
just
a
put
long snake.
Just put anything that a snake has, and it can do it.
I put 131 feet long. It has fangs, and it has scales. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I couldn't really think of anything else.
I mean, luckily we're not pitting it up against anything like humanoid this fight, so it's just going to be... This is kind of beast on beast here, so...
Yeah, as you'll find out with our next competitor, which we'll get to after we talk about the stats.
Yeah.
So let's go intelligence.
I don't know. This is almost just like ranking a big snake. Like...
Yeah.
Intelligence, I don't know how
there's really
smart
not
snakes
that
are.
many. There's a couple abilities that aren't really affected by just the size in general, and intelligence is one of those. I don't think just because it's bigger, it's going to be any smarter than a regular anaconda.
I don't know. I'm sure a vet or some
it's
zoologist is going to be like, oh, snakes are super smart because they can do this, this, and this. But honestly, it's a snake. Like,
Yeah.
I'll give it a 6, maybe.
I think you're overestimating the anaconda a lot. Not a lot, but I think you're overestimating it.
I just threw a number there. What are we
I'll
going
give it a
for?
5. I'll give it a 5.
I can go with 5. That's what I was thinking.
All right,
as well.
let's give it a 5. I'm fine with baseline. This thing's not,
Now this one would be interesting. Power. So
Well,
anacondas, how
are we
they
going
kill is
jaw
they
strength?
just wrap around their target
Or coil
and
strength.
kind of crush it, suffocate it.
And then they put their head over and just eat it, basically.
Yeah. And if this thing, as it is reported, could do this to a cow, it's got to have some pretty fucking good strength to be able to do something like
Well, it's
that.
also massive, so that helps
yeah.
the whole cow thing. But
What are we thinking for this one?
7? I'll give it a... Well,
I don't know. I was thinking.
I almost want it to be higher just because I
think I could roll with an 8, but I can see where you're coming with for a 7.
I feel like...
just how I range it, if it's like an 8, it's near like Bigfoot strength at that point.
Yeah, it's good.
So it's like...
I think it's close because it's bigger than Bigfoot. This thing's huge.
Well, it's longer. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's bigger.
but like let's say this thing coils around and like stacks itself up. I still think it's going to be like taller than Bigfoot. 131 feet is a long ass
that's
snake.
True. That's true. Yeah, it'd probably be bigger than Bigfoot.
So already size wise, it's got it, and then think about agility of snakes.
Well, we're gonna get to mobility later on, but for
you
now,
know,
just strength wise, and so you would take into account bite strength and coil strength.
and I think it's bone crushing is definitely up there. So I've given it an 8. I'll give it an 8. I almost want to. We don't do halves here, but I'd go 8.5 if I could.
I can settle with an 8, yeah. Mm-hmm. And now moving on, defense. What do we think?
I'm gonna go kind of low on defense just because I feel
it's
like
a giant
even though
snake,
it's got scales, like there's snake scales. Like
true.
I feel like a lot of things I've
But
seen.
I mean, it
like
might
I've
have
seen
a good
dog
bit more
bite a
defense
snake's
because
head
of
off.
its size.
That's
yeah,
true.
That's true.
I'm not saying it's going to have
factoring
crazy defense because of it, but it would give it a more than the average snake in defense.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah, it's like 100 times the size of
Yeah.
an average
Oh, yeah.
snake, so...
I want to throw 6 out there again, almost.
A
But
6?
then again, I also want to
No,
throw 5
I don't
out
think
there.
it's a 6. For
I think
defense.
5 is like the highest I want to go.
I could be persuaded into 4, but I think 5 is good.
I could see 5.
Like we said, this episode's going to go by a little quicker than normal.
Yeah. I mean, it'll get a little bit longer when we move into our next competitor, but we'll get there when we get there. Now, what are we thinking mobility?
I'm gonna be honest, it's a giant-ass snake. I don't think it's moving pretty fast, bro. I'm gonna be honest, because by the time it's moving its head, it's already still gonna be, like, on the other side, with the tail still moving where the head was. So I think...
I don't know. I think you just kind of scale up a snake, though. Like, snakes can, like, once they coil, they can just, like, fucking lunge.
Yeah.
So...
I'm going to throw that in.
They also have the
slither
slither thing as, like, a, like, speed movement.
So ability number 4 will be lunge.
Alright.
Well, it can slither, but it's also, like... Snakes are hella skinny, usually. And this thing is fucking giant.
Yeah,
bro.
it's a
Yeah.
thick boy.
Yeah.
Like, I could say it's probably as thick as Matt's head right now. Maybe a little...
Which way are we talking? Because I'm thinking, like, thick as Matt... I don't know. But, like, thick as Matt's
Okay.
head? Probably.
Maybe, like...
Okay. This guy...
2/4?
I don't know if
It's like
that
it's
big.
like this big, but
That's
long.
what I was thinking.
I don't know, I think...
For
it's
anyone,
big.
since you guys can't see
If
how
only
I'm
we had the
describing,
tape
it's like a
measure in
loaf
here.
of bread.
Yeah, the loaf of bread thickness.
Yeah, like wide. Honest, yeah.
I think it's a little bit thicker than that, but...
I don't think so, because I think you're overestimating. Like this snake, even though he's like
It
long,
also-
but he's not like fat.
Let's just think about it. It also ate a cow, my guy. So...
Well, snakes can eat like a normal snake could eat like a dog or something like that, like a normal anaconda could.
I think a normal anaconda, yeah.
They have like that
When you
unhinged
said
jaw
normal,
thing.
when you said normal
Okay,
snake,
a
I was
gardener
just like
snake.
a rattlesnake.
A
eating
gardener
fucking
snake
dog.
won't even be able to eat like a chihuahua's, leg, but it can unhinge his jaw. It can do all that. I think that the cow doesn't need to traditionally fit in the stomach for it to be able to eat it.
And I mean, they do stretch out. Their entire body stretches out. I mean, this is a tough one because I don't want to give it low because then I feel like we'd be undercutting it. Plus, it has lunge, so it's got that mobility power. I'm thinking 6.
I was gonna say 6 again. I was like, I'm feeling like throwing that 6 right back around.
I can deal with this 6. I can deal with this 6.
Okay.
As long as it wasn't, like, high mobility. Like a 7 or 8.
Like I
Yeah,
said,
no.
neither of these guys are
I
humanoids,
mean,
and
my
they're not gonna
mind
be.
dabbled into a 7 for a minute, but I was like, I just can't justify a 7.
I think the next competitor is faster on this thing, for sure. But...
Yeah, we'll get to that. HP.
I think this one's gonna be pretty high. I think it's definitely got it.
I think it's got a
like
big weakness. Its head.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think it could take a lot of damage. Not purely because of
We
its
did say,
defense.
yeah, we said it had, like, mediocre defense, but then again, it depends on how much of this thing you can cut, and it still be
It
able
could still
to
go
attack, you know, full battle
full
strength.
force.
Yeah.
So, are we gonna give them?
You guys do more cringe every episode.
They love it.
I hope so.
So, are we just gonna 7? Thoughts on a 7?
I like a 7.
Because I don't know if an 8 would be too much, but I feel like a 6 would be underselling it a little bit.
Yeah, we did just say, like, oh, well, we think it's gonna have a little...
Yeah,
and then we
yeah.
go, like, yeah, like, a 2. No, yeah, I think 7's fine.
I can see a 7, yeah. It's like a 7 or 8 for me, but I can go with 7.
So you were thinking 8.
I was.
Were you also thinking?
My initial thought was 8.
I was bouncing between those, of, like, which one.
My
to
like
give it.
as soon as you like said HP, my brain was like 8, and I was like, no, let's not get too overzealous. But if Roger was thinking 8, then
So we're thinking 8 then.
I don't know, what did 8 ever come up in your thoughts?
For like a split second. But I mean, we can go 2-1 vote here. That's fair.
Pretty sure last week you said you didn't want to do 2-1 votes.
I think
Well-
we did 2-1 votes for a little bit of them.
Yeah.
last
All right,
week.
we're going 8.
8. Alright.
We'll go 8.
And if you have a problem with that, you can send us an email.
But hey, like I said last time, I'll say it at the end of the episode.
Okay. Stealth.
Like I said, no.
Stealth. What are we thinking?
I think this one's very environmental based because
For sure.
if it's in the jungle, this thing's got some pretty high stealth. That's natural territory. It's probably got its outer whatever it looks like. Looks is very similar to all the colors in there.
Yeah. Like
Easy to
the
hide.
green grass, the brown trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely
But
very
if
environmental
it's not anywhere similar to that, let's say it's on the top of the mountain, that's
Well,
kind
I
of
don't
screwed.
think. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be on the top of the mountain.
Well, I'm just giving a reference to
It's,
like
I
something
think
that's.
when we do stealth, we take in like the environmental factor to it.
But do we take its local environmental factor, or do we take in where the arena is going to be?
Well, we don't even know the arena yet, so we're just taking in its current environmental factor.
I have an idea of the arena, but I won't say anything.
Good, because
What's-
I
yeah.
don't.
Yeah. Okay. So in its current environment, I think it's got pretty high stealth. I'd almost want to give it like an 8 or a 9, just because I know.
Also
that it's-
thinking an 8 or a 9. I just couldn't really.
I
pick
think
one
mine
or
is a
two.
little bold.
Yeah, because then it's like getting close to that 10 category.
Yeah, and that's saved for like Titans. So I don't know if I
Yeah.
want. Then again,
I don't know.
this
We
thing's
saved a
adapted to
10.
live here its whole
I
life.
saved a 10 for the Wendigo that was like a master of stealth, so I don't
Yeah.
think this thing is at its level. I would give it like an 8. I don't think I would give it a 9 either.
With that point, I'm going 8 as well.
I'm definitely okay with giving it an 8 on that. That actually kind of rounded out it a little higher than I thought.
So we're looking stats rundown real quick for the Megaconda. Intelligence 5, Power 8, Defense 5, Mobility 6, HP 8, Stealth 8. Which I think he got a pretty lucky break right there.
Yeah, I think that overall, thinking about it, I thought it was going to be a little bit more frail than it ended up, the way we ended up deciding, but if it kind of almost makes sense, you know?
Yeah. All right.
It's a big snake. Called the Megaconda, by the way. It's called the Megaconda, not a big snake.
I mean, it is though.
That's true. That's a
It's
good
called
description.
many things.
It's actually not really. It's
I don't know. I've seen many names, but I can't remember.
there's
all
like
of
the
them.
bull killer in the Megaconda.
I saw
And there's
great
probably
snakes.
like a native name for it as well. So who
El
wants to
Snake.
try and... What did you just say?
I said El Snakeu.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how African dialect goes, but
Yeah, maybe stop the accents before we
I
get in
wasn't an
trouble.
accent. I literally just said El Snakeu. Like, come on.
And then, okay. It's
Alright.
kind of sus. So who wants to try and pronounce the name of our next competitor?
Okay.
Because this is
So,
about to turn into a debate.
From what I read, it's the Dobhar-Chú.
Kind of
And
heard
it's
that.
the way they pronounce it there, it's like Dobhar-Chú.
Dobhar-Chú.
Yeah.
So we're rolling with Dobhar-Chú then.
I can roll with that. I can roll.
Okay.
I've heard
It's
I've heard people say many
Dobhar-Chú.
Honestly, I was thinking Dobhar-Chú. So
Yeah,
the
that was what I was
Dobhar-Chú,
gonna say. Because then, like on, on a
that's
couple
just
of
us
sites,
being American.
yeah, that's just us being like, I read Word, I know what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But then I went and watched a couple things, and Google Translate kind of sucked because I was like, oh, it's just gonna tell me how it says it, but no, it doesn't even have like a microphone to be like, this is what it sounds like. So, fuck you, Google Translate.
Hey, we're on their podcast app. Relax.
I mean, we're cutting that out.
Okay, so who wants to take the history on?
I just should read it. I feel like he's been a little bit more quiet this
Oh
one.
god.
This one's a bit bigger than the last one.
Oh great. What'd you say for the name already?
Are we going with Dobhar-Chú or Dobhar-Chú or Dobhar-Chú? Because we could totally butcher this for a whole episode.
Surprise us.
Alright. Dobhar-Chú is a water-like hound found in the waters of Ireland. Stories of the creature date back to the mid-1600s, with one of the earliest recordings of this creature was in 1896. This being sighting of Miss...
Is that the funny name?
Yeah, Miss Walkington.
Yep.
Yeah,
Miss
yeah,
Walkington.
there it
Her
is.
first name is...
Her last name.
Her last name is
Okay.
Walkington.
Isn't her first name Grace?
I think so, yeah.
Where she's described and seen the creature. The other reports say that there is a migratory group of them seen in... I'm not even...
That's in like a province in Ireland.
It's a part of Ireland where they like are.
Yeah. Serhines Low?
What? Oh, are you pronouncing
I'm
it?
gonna try. Serhines?
Srahin's Low. Yeah,
Yeah.
Srahin's Low. That's where it is.
More recently, sightings have been reported all around the world. More interestingly, this cryptid has ties...
To Irish folklore, I'm guessing.
No.
No, it's
This
like-
is my fun fact of the history. Where are you?
Nessie.
Nessie.
Nessie
Oh, to
with,
Nessie.
Yeah,
Alright.
that makes sense. With a man being saved by Nessie from the Dobhar-Chú.
Yeah. That was like a cool little tie that I saw when I was going through
I did
history.
also see that some people said that it was the like Nessie was almost like the more evolved state of the Dobhar-Chú. So they were like
That's like a Pokemon evolution and a half.
Yeah.
Jesus.
yeah. Well,
That's
That's
from,
just like this
it's-
large water beaver, and then it
it's
turns
just-
into
It goes
a
from
dinosaur.
Yeah,
a
no.
wolf-sized otter to like a fucking...
Yeah, like
Yeah.
some dinosaur.
Yeah, no,
no,
like-
that's yeah. I don't know. I think it's just because Scotland is right there with the whole like
There was
Nessie
another
thing.
story with Nessie that like some baby Nessies made their way to Ireland and were in the streams and interacted with it there. So anybody got some fun stories? Because I pretty much said all mine in the history.
There's a little bit of like Viking lore about the Dobhar-Chú, and it like saves people, but it's also a monster, and it's a lot more mythical than our last contender, which is just like this was found in a safari. This one's like, oh, this is in like legends and stuff like that from Ireland and stuff. Not as like a prominent figure, but just as a character within. So, and then I don't know. Did you guys know like the one about the lady that's down washing the laundry, and then the guy
then-
comes out and kills? Yeah.
Yeah. And then it kills the lady, and she's like mauled or whatever. The guy goes and kills that, and then it does
Then
a
as it
screech right
dies-
before it dies, and then the mate comes in and attacks it, but he also kills that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I read that apparently like it's either from the scream or a sense, but the mate always tries to avenge the other significant other.
Yeah.
Like all the time.
Which is what I wanted to bring up this
That's
episode.
That's also
was,
what I want to bring up.
but I'm gonna wait until we get to the actual fight. So, but there's something about that I want to bring up.
Okay. That's all the stories we have then?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that one's pretty famous about the lady who's doing laundry, then gets murdered, and her husband avenges
I think that's
her.
the one that everyone goes to when they're
Yeah.
trying to explain it on like every website.
Yeah, but I did see like there's a couple of there's like this one island out near Ireland or like in Ireland or something like that, and that's where apparently they reside or they're near. And so there's a bunch of people that have like sighted them there recently.
Yeah, everyone says they see like a
They
wolf-sized
see a
otter,
giant, yeah.
and so that's what they're like. Oh, it's the
Yeah, the
Dobhar-Chú.
most people are like, oh, this thing was the size of a human or something like that. It's got like giant webbed feet and all that, and jaws.
All right, then let's jump to stats and abilities. So for abilities, I have swimming aptitude, sharp claws, fur, webbed feet, and mate boost.
We've definitely gamed this.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I feel like that's like half the premise.
Yeah,
We turn into like an RPG.
Yeah. Now I'm just thinking about like an RPG style logo or something like that. That would be cool. But anyway.
Well, any artists out there will pay for commissions. Or you can send it to us for free. Either one.
Yeah, anyway.
But yeah, those are the 4 abilities that I could come up with.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, it's if the last one was Big Snake, this one's Large Otter.
Yeah, that's
Big
exactly how I would
snake,
put it.
large otter.
Yeah. So essentially, what we got is a beast fight.
Well, let's hop into stats. Let's go intelligence.
From what I can tell, this thing's not very intelligent.
I mean, otters themselves are pretty intelligent, though.
But this
Just
thing's
as
almost
creatures.
like a.
You're thinking
what do you
like
call
this
it?
is the
Like a
generic
prenom or
character
something
that's
like
like
that.
big dumb guy.
No, I'm just thinking like this is almost like a. You mentioned Pokemon earlier. It's almost like pre-evolution, but that doesn't make any sense because it's bigger. It's like a.
Like he's
It's like he
taking
came
some
before,
roids.
an ancestor. It's like an ancestor of the otter, is what it seems like. So.
It also doesn't do. I don't think it does anything that the otter does, like building dams or anything. This thing is known to
Otters
just.
that was more like beavers. Otters are just kind of like
What's the-
crack-
what's
crack
the
nuts on
difference?
their-
Yeah,
What's
exactly.
the difference?
Exactly. The thing is that this thing really is just known to
I
kill
hope we get an
humans.
email.
So it's
Someone's
not like.
there's definitely a difference between beavers and otters.
Okay, shut the fuck up. So what are we thinking for intelligence? Not too high, I would imagine.
I'd say 4. You were
4.
gonna say
I was
4.
gonna say
You were
4.
gonna
I was
say
gonna
4.
say 4 too.
Yeah.
Alright, then we'll hit him with a 4. Now what are we thinking power?
From what I can tell, it almost seems like they're pretty powerful. In the story, it seems like the thing like mauled the woman.
Yeah.
So and like it was talking about how like her guts were like splayed out. It was kind of gross. But yeah, it was like.
He's doing a little Wendigo summoning ritual.
And then it like laid on her, and the guy walked out and found it just laying on her dead corpse. Yeah, so that's cool. Anyway, this thing I think is kind of powerful. It's also got the claws. I don't know if that gives it an
Yep, the
advantage.
claws, and
strength-wise,
it's like
but
wolf size.
at least.
Yeah, and it's like swimming
I've
all
seen.
the time.
I've heard that it's like 10 or 15 feet long. So
yeah,
it's big.
it's a big.
Big boy.
I was
That's
gonna
what you were
say
gonna
that.
say,
I was
yeah.
gonna say that. Yes, it's a big boy.
Alright, so what are we thinking then? Like,
I want to go like 8. Are you guys gonna kill me for an 8?
I won't kill you, but I don't know. I'm kind of
You're thinking 7. You're thinking 7. I knew it. I didn't want to
I was
say
thinking
8.
8 or 7. So
No.
I was thinking
Good.
8 or 7.
So now we're in a very big crossroads right here. One of us says 8, one says 7, and the other says both.
I'm gonna go 8.
8. Now that we got that out of the way, defense.
Okay, this thing has fur. So, I don't know. Did we ever establish that gave the other 2 that we had?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
For Bigfoot, that was definitely a key factor. And I'm
then
pretty sure it
Dogman
was a
the other
factor
one, I
for
think.
Dogman as well.
So, and this one's got the, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but it's got the, like, swimming through water thing. So that, like, I don't know. That has nothing to do with it. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know where you were going.
I was going, I
Went
was,
fur
my brain
defense.
was way ahead of my mouth on that one. So, that would have been like an hour tangent. Anyway.
Well, we got the time this episode. We're almost there, and it's only been 30 minutes.
Yeah. So I think. Well, why am I thinking? Why don't you
Because
throw out
you're
a number?
1/3 of the podcast.
Yeah.
I threw out a number.
I threw
I
out
just
the last
don't
number. Why
have
don't
a
you throw out this
confident
one?
answer.
I don't either. This one's like bouncing around between 2 and 8 in my mind right now.
I'm gonna go 6.
6?
6.
Yeah.
What did you want to give it?
I don't know.
The
I
thing
was thinking
is,
maybe a 7 because of its size. And it would obviously have to have very strong muscles because it's swimming a lot.
it's also
Then
been
again, it's
killed.
got
though.
webbed feet, so it's almost got like a tech for
You gotta
that.
think this thing has been killed too by just a human.
That's true. 2 have been killed by a human.
And I think one of the kills was just with
He
a
had a
knife.
weapon, but it
was just a
like,
knife.
it was just
Yeah,
like
but
some
still.
long dagger or something like that. So
Alright, I think we can
I
settle
think a
with
6
6
works. Yeah.
Okay, then we got mobility. Just gonna go out right now. In water, 9. On land, I'm thinking like a
7.
6.
It's still
or
from
a
what
7.
from what I did read, it seems like it's still fast on land, but not quick enough to outpace the guy that was running from
That's
it.
why I'm saying like maybe a 7 or honestly even 6.
6, huh?
I think land speed 6, but I
land
definitely
speed
think
6,
in water 9.
speed
No,
9.
no.
Yeah,
So we're gonna settle for the middle, or
the middle of that 7 and 8. So
well, are we gonna go with the 7 or an 8 then? Or are we gonna do like 6-9?
we'll go 6, just because most likely these things are fighting on land. But if we do figure out, hey, it's going to be a water area,
I think we should just do it.
we'll just do 6.
I'll do 6L, and then I'll do a slash, and then we'll go 9W. All right, that out of the way. HP.
Thinking a little lower for this one.
Once again, this thing did get killed by a human.
Yeah.
This story took place in like the 1800s too. So like this guy wasn't like modern day technology, which is why it like got killed by a human's definitely a big factor here.
Yeah, they probably used like you guys said, the long dagger / knife, and then maybe like a wood axe.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm thinking 6.
I was going to say 6 or 5.
I was gonna say 5. Yeah.
Great, so we've come across this road yet again. Roger, you'll have to settle this since you were in the middle once again.
I say we should go 5.
5.
I think we should definitely go 5. Just thinking about like, I don't think like when I think about HP, I'm like, is this thing lasting long after it's injured? And so far, no.
No.
So.
All right, then we'll finish it off with stealth. I'm not gonna go high. I'm gonna be
Honestly,
honest,
it's
not gonna
gotten
high.
cited a lot, just as a pretense. I know your guys' stance on the citing and stealth thing, but I still think that still puts a factor into it. So
And if it's just attacking,
if it's attacking
in a
people,
broad areas like somebody's house, like, and then just sticking around to make a bed out of their corpse, like, you would think that they'd kill,
And
eat,
also-
and then leave.
And also
Yeah.
can't lose the chaser either. So
Yeah.
can't really like stealth its way out of a situation like a lot of the other ones can.
yeah, if it's chasing something down, then I don't know if stealth is like especially if it's like
Well, not chasing, it's being chased. So it's more of trying to lose them and then being stealthy enough for them to be gone type of situation.
Yeah, I don't understand where you.
All right.
Okay, he's saying when somebody's chasing them, this thing can't stealth away.
Yeah.
So
like
unless
saying,
it's in the
like, if
water,
I-
unless it hops in the water real quick.
Yeah, but yeah, it could. But I think we're just talking general stealth, though.
Let's go like 3. This thing doesn't have
3.
stealth.
I
This
wasn't even
thing's
gonna go
not-
as low as the 3, but
Okay, I wanted to throw this out here last episode too. Just in general, cryptids haven't been documented. They're like undocumented
no,
species.
that's why they're cryptozoological. It's a species that are trying to be proven to be
Is
real.
a 1 something we're never going to achieve just because it's not
No,
documented?
I think a 1 can definitely be achieved.
In the sense of what? Like, what's our 1 here? Like, this thing is
Well, now
literally
you're putting me
walking
on the
around.
spot.
Like, I know it's not a cryptid, but like a ghost would be a 1 because that's just literally like everyone's got a ghost story or something like that.
Like 1 stat wise.
Yeah, just stat wise, like I don't know. What's our 1 baseline here?
Trying to think of a cryptid that would be a 1. Do we count fairies as cryptids?
Well, they're mythical creatures. They're in the same.
Then I'd
They're
probably
in the
give a
vein.
fairy maybe like a 1 HP. You
That's
just
true.
fucking dead.
That's true, but I'm talking like if we're talking stealth here.
No, I don't. Are you trying to say this guy has a 1 stealth?
No, I'm saying is a 1 ever something we can achieve on the podcast just because none of them have been documented. Whereas I think a 1 would be like this species is documented. It exists.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it is documented and is obviously if it has been documented and it's seen as a real creature, it's not going to be a cryptid.
Yeah, it's not going to be on the podcast. But then
Yeah.
we need a 1. We need like something like this thing is
Well,
literally
it wouldn't
just
just be,
walking
like,
amongst
in
humans.
stealth.
Yeah, no, it would be. We need a baseline for stealth, is what I'm saying.
Okay, then how about well, I can't say if it has a lot of sightings because I mean Bigfoot has a lot of sightings and we didn't give it a 1.
You guys last had 2 episodes were like, this thing could want to be seen and then murder
Yeah.
him, so that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that's why I said I can't say that.
Yeah.
We'll cross that road when we get to something
Anyway,
that's very
3.
bad.
I'm going 3. This thing is not very
Did you move it down? I thought you said 4 last time.
No,
I
he
said
said 3. I don't know. I think it could blend in certain environments. like it's brown and stuff, so it would blend into like the background of like maybe a forest.
That's true, but this thing also doesn't like maneuver well in forests.
It
You give
also
it a low
is like
land.
a killer. It's not something that like wants to hold the urge. So if
Yeah.
it tries to hide, then it's just gonna go after the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're thinking 3 then.
That is the other thing about this. This thing kills, unlike just some normal animal, this thing just like outright kills people. So
Yeah. Alright, I'm good with giving it a 3 then.
I think that's probably the lowest score we've given on this show so far.
Is it? I think
we've
yeah.
given it.
I think we gave the Wendigo a 4 and something, but
We gave something a 3. I'm pretty sure.
I can check real quick. The Wendigo, the Michigan Dogman had a few 4s. Where are my Wendigo stats? Right here. The lowest Wendigo had was a 4 in defense.
the other two I don't think.
I'm
ever
pretty
got
sure
as low as
Mothman
4.
might add a 3.
The lowest Bigfoot got was a 5, and Mothman, wow, his lowest was a 5 as well.
Yeah, I think the first episode they were definitely really strong. I think that's the lowest we've ever given. Yeah.
Yeah, no. And I mean, it's not that unexpected. Like,
Yeah.
these cryptids don't really have any special abilities or enhancements, really. They're kind of just big, normal animals.
Yeah, with some sort of intent on killing people.
Alright, well, with all stats and abilities out of the way, let's talk environment for the arena.
I'm thinking Lakeside Forest.
All right, so we're giving the Dobhar-Chú a water
A spot?
spot.
Yeah.
I mean, we could also go like a river forest, or like a river in the middle of a forest.
The other
or
thing
something.
about this is that the Megaconda is sighted in like a rainforest, and most of the snakes that live in rainforests can swim pretty well. So I don't know if we want to go back and give it like.
I wouldn't say its swimming ability is on the level of the...
Yeah.
No, yeah, I definitely. That
Rainforest
thing's
is
got
also
way
kind of
better.
like rivers, whereas this thing swims in lakes and shit. So
Yeah.
So, lakeside forest, river forest, what are we thinking?
or do we just say no water and just a forest in general?
No,
I
I,
don't
think
think
that
that'd
gives.
be
I think
too
it gives
fair.
it too much of a disadvantage because it's supposed to be even between the two. I almost want somewhere. I feel like lake is pretty big. I want like somewhere. It's got like a pond or something. Like I don't know how much room does this thing need to move around.
Well, you gotta keep in fact that it's a wolf size, so the body of water is gonna have to be pretty big.
Well, it's not even wolf size; it's bigger. It's like 10 to 15.
Yeah. So it's got to be a pretty big body of water, be able to move effectively around. I mean, I kind of
I
like
almost-
lakeside forest.
I almost want to say like seaside jungle or something like that. Just because
I mean, that'd
this
be
thing is also an ocean animal. It lives in the ocean, so giving it that over. I don't know if that has anything to do with the cryptid's ability to swim, but
well. I mean, and they're migratory. They're seen all around the world now, so I don't think he's affected by the ocean. And if he is, at least he's not heavily affected.
I don't know. I think it for me it was more like jungle versus like forest, just because I think in my mind they're two like
Different things.
in like different parts of the world. So
I mean, I can get down with that one too. Plus, you also have to think of the type of trees in a forest compared to a jungle.
Yeah.
They affect the snake's ability to move around. So yeah, I mean, I think seaside jungle is pretty fair. They both get their main environment to operate in.
Yeah, I could see that. That should work.
yeah,
Right.
it's almost if it is kind of relating back to the last episode, if it is migratory as well, then that's almost something that you could see it in a situation you could see it in. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. With our fighting stage, seaside, jungle picked out. What are you guys thinking? We got our two competitors in the ring. They're going head to head, possibly.
All right. First thing I got to get out of here. Are we giving this thing the
Okay,
to have a mate come out and attack?
that's
after?
the one thing I wanted to ask. And like going forward, are we ever going to allow like packs of things?
Okay, well, here's the thing. Dogman operates in packs. Or with
Well,
packs.
Last
And we
time we
didn't
said
include the
it's
pack.
kind of solo,
Then wouldn't this be solo?
but within its like whole
Well, the thing is that
backstory
with,
was that there was
it's
a
only been
mate.
seen like alone, really. It's,
And if it
that was that
migrates,
one
it's
sighting
in-
of with the multiple. This thing, it's like heavily that if it dies, it gives that
Yeah,
call. So
It-
the
that
mate
was
goes
one of the
out.
things. If
But
it
that's
dies,
also,
it calls out.
That's
too.
also thinking that it has a mate at this moment.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like Roger said last time, it was like Dogman had one thing where it was like this guy was getting attacked by a pack of dogs, and then that was the only time he was ever seen with any other wolf animal. Whereas this thing is like talked about as a huge beast, group of beasts type thing.
I mean, I don't want to say it's unfair in this circumstance, but I think in other fights it would be unfair to have this.
Which is why I'm asking if we should just keep it one-on-one for all of these, or if we should allow for more than one to fight.
I'm thinking we do one-on-one, but then when we get around to doing the thing we have planned, we can discuss
alternate
fights with
Okay,
other
cool,
factors
cool,
like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going just one-on-one. Do we have any early predictions?
I think one-on-one, the Megaconda's winning it a majority of the time. About 70% of the time in my eyes. Just because there is that water element, and that gives the Dobhar-Chú.
And I mean, it'd be a lot easier for the Megaconda to kill the Dobhar-Chú.
Yeah.
Because it's just so much smaller. And really, the Megaconda's big weakness is its head. So that's all the Dobhar-Chú would really have to be able to go for to bring this beast down. As to where the Dobhar-Chú isn't nearly the size. And if it takes a hit anywhere on its body, it's taken a substantial hit.
Yeah. We did, and I will say that we gave the Megaconda less defense, but I think it could survive, but we gave it higher HP, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think it could survive a lot longer. And quite a few, gashes from the claws.
And
Whereas,
I didn't see this thing really surviving that long. That's the thing. I didn't see this thing really surviving that long against this Megaconda unless it had
more than one. Yeah.
But that also only happens when it dies. So then it would just be one-on-one, and then it dies, and then one-on-one. I mean, we'll discuss that later on down the road. But yeah, I mean, it's just... If it takes any... And it has, like, the sharp claws, it could go in. But when you think about the fangs on the Megaconda, one good bite on this thing, and it's done.
Yeah. And it's not like the Megaconda's, like, venomous or anything like that.
No.
But this thing's just, like, it's got such insane, like, just...
It's almost just the sheer size of the Megaconda kind of wins it automatically.
And I was thinking, like, okay, the Megaconda, it swallows the thing, and then it's over.
Yeah.
But then I think the Dobhar-Chú fucking claws its way out of the stomach, maybe. Just because I'm thinking if it has the claws and it's in there...
Before it swallows it, it will have suffocated it and crushed its bones with its constriction.
That's true. I was thinking about, like, I was just thinking if we were, like...
Like, if they're just running, playing chicken, and it just fucking eats it.
Yeah.
Like, right away.
Or maybe lunges at it.
Yeah, but, I mean, either way, I don't think the Dobhar-Chú is winning this thing.
Yeah.
Unless it just goes straight for the head and nose right away. Go for the head.
Yeah, I don't think the Doberman's got a chance.
Fucking Doberman. Well, I'm glad we're on the page, all on the same page with this one. But yeah, I mean, going in, I already felt like it was Megaconda. Doing the research, as bare bones as it was.
I did the research and it was already looking Megaconda. But then if I factored in that ability, that's when I was like, okay, that's how
I definitely was thinking for a little while about, like, oh man, I wonder if we're going to do anything with, like, multiple or, like... Because then you got to think, like, okay, let's say we give him multiple to the whatever that thing was that starts with a D.
The dog man?
No, the Dobhar...
The Dobhar-Chú.
Yeah. Anyway, so if we give multiple of those, then do we give multiple Megacondas?
Oh, Jesus, I don't think so.
That's the thing I'm thinking of. So then I was like, oh, because I love the Dobhar-Chú had an additional.
But I don't know if Megacondas would hunt in packs. That's the thing. This thing is like it's a group.
I'm just saying, like, it's great. Like, great and all that the Dobhar-Chú has another one, but that also opens up the possibility of us just, like, throwing in extras anywhere around. So
yeah, anywhere where they could slightly fit.
Yeah.
Well, that was pretty cut and dry. But yeah, I mean, so our third crowned competitor and victor is the Megaconda.
Yeah, it comes out on top.
Who may or may not return in a future episode. Now, with the fun debates out of the way, I think we started with me last week. Yeah. So let's talk believability, Andrew.
All right, we'll go believability. I think
I'm definitely interested about this one too.
Yeah.
I think I still don't believe in either. we're throwing that out there. Once again, I don't think there's any way you guys are getting me to believe in any of these. If it's got to be really crazy. But I think that out of like realistic probability, these ones are the highest ranking so far, just because they're literally like a large animal. So I don't think that anything else really comes close to like how this could just be a branch off on some sort of, genetic alteration.
Some kind of evolution or
something down the
ancestral
line.
thing.
Something down the line changed. So that's all I got for that. I mean,
Roger.
I will say I believe in both. Now, how they describe the otter or the Dobhar-Chú, whatever we're going for this one, it's altered for me. It's the same thing with the Wendigo. It's more of an altered thing where I can believe there's like a bigger otter that could possibly kill humans or whatever, but it's not 10 or 15 feet long. I don't see that. It's
probably
just,
not even as big as a wolf. Like, honestly, a big otter's gonna... Like, an
I
otter
can
normally
deal
is
with
only
a
like
big...
like I said before, a bread loaf is about the size of a normal otter, so...
I can deal with as big as a wolf. I can kind of see that, but like 10, 15 feet long, we're pushing it.
Yeah.
But the Megaconda, I can believe with how people say it. I see how it is. It's that they're like, oh yeah, the rainforest hasn't really even been fully explored yet, so there can definitely be something that's as big as the Megaconda or even bigger. So I believe the Megaconda could actually exist without us knowing.
Yeah, no, I'm in the boat that at least at one point these things could have been real.
Oh, that's
Maybe
Oh,
not.
I think in the
they
past, for sure. I
Yeah.
think that these things, somehow down the line, one way or another, there was a giant snake and a huge-ass otter.
If anything, they existed before the fucking meteor hit and caused dinosaurs to be
It
extinct.
could have
Yeah.
been one of the few species that survived, because like the dinosaurs that do still exist today just shrunk down a lot because they had to switch like what they were able to find to eat.
Yeah, no. We didn't do any research on, an actual otter and a snake and where they came from.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
way
I
back
dabbled
when,
in it.
but
Yeah, no,
I
definitely not
dabbled
that.
in it a little bit.
I dabbled in it for the snake, but it really wasn't.
Yeah, no.
It was like-
The Megaconda, I could see it. I mean, the Amazon rainforest is heavily unexplored.
They did
to
say
this
that,
day.
yeah, that did say that there's, like, very little it has been explored of that, so.
Yeah, and seeing that this was coming from like a tribe of native Brazilians.
Well, it came from, like, safari researchers, I thought. They said
I thought they got it from a story from
it's
native
been
Brazilians.
both, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was probably both, but I think if anybody would know about something like this, it would be
Maybe
the natives,
people
that
live
live
there.
there. They're there
Yeah.
constantly. They've probably explored more than anybody. They know the predators that they have to watch out for. So I definitely think that the Megaconda is a possibility. And as far as the Dobhar-Chú, I don't know. That's a tough one. I could see it. I don't think the stuff with Nessie, like them interacting with each other, is
That definitely seems a little bit more out.
because
like,
then you
you're
have
kind
to
of just
dive
blending.
into do you believe in Nessie at that point, and we'll cover that down the road eventually. But
Yeah, that's starting. You're starting to blend cryptids there, and that starts to
Yeah,
get to a
like, this
territory
isn't
that's not
the-
very.
CSU, the Cryptid Cinematic Universe,
Yeah. I mean,
although that would
we
be
are
awesome.
we are having them fight every week, so
Yeah, we
I'm not
have
going to
the
say it's
Cryptid
too
Cinematic
far from it,
Universe.
but that's
Yeah.
actually kind of sounds cool. I'm not going to lie, but
It does. You could like have Bigfoot being BFFs with like Dogman or rivals.
It's like Kong versus Godzilla, bro.
Let's not right now.
all right, yeah, let's
Let's not
not.
right
Okay,
But I don't know. I want to believe in the Dobhar-Chú, but at the same time, it just seems a little too unrealistic, the accounts of what happened. And I mean, the one with the man killing the two because the one killed his wife, it's kind of just like word of mouth. That story gets passed along, and like a lot of stories, but some of the stories that you hear word of mouth originate from like really reliable sources. And this is just some dude in the forest who probably just murdered his wife and needed a story to back it up.
yeah.
He's like, what's
He's
hot
like,
in the
oh my
village
god, there
today?"
was
Oh my
giant
God.
otters and they killed my wife, and it
Laying
was
on their
crazy.
body with their guts spraying out. It was just
Yeah, it was
bad.
brutal. It was brutal. Yeah. No.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'm not really on the Dobhar-Chú book. I think it might be a possibility, but it's just not enough for me to really dive fully into. But yeah, I think that wraps it up.
Yeah,
we managed to stretch this one out, and we're going to stretch it out a little bit longer if you're still listening. So like we said at the beginning, please leave a 5-star review for the podcast. Really helps us out on the charts.
Once again, if you write anything in the review, I will read it out if it's 5 stars.
Yeah,
so.
we don't do anything lower than 5 stars. 4 and 3 stars, it'll warm our hearts. 1 and 2, we'll just read
Probably
them and make
them.
fun of them.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we'll piss on your grave if you leave us a 1 star.
Yeah.
So we are a 5-star podcast. We deserve 5 stars. That's
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
100%. And if you want to email the show, email us at cryptidversuscryptid@gmail.com. That is
CRYPTIDVSCRYPTID@gmail.com.
and we'll give you a shout out on the show. And so, do we have any inkling as to what the next fight is? Give them a little hint for what's to
Alright,
come.
I will say, I almost feel like...
I mean, we're bouncing through, like, we were talking before the podcast about some that we want to do. Don't know if we want to do it next, though. Or if we want to kind of hold
I will
off.
say that next week we'll have a longer episode for sure. Because
yeah.
I know that
We're gonna...
hopefully,
I think when we
maybe
do
at
lesser
least
known,
one
we
of
need
them.
to tie in something better known.
Yeah, this was almost like an experimental, like, this is the 3rd episode, we're kind of still finding our footing. So, but I think that next episode we're definitely going to have something a little bit more well-known and a little bit stronger. I don't want to throw a name
less
out.
known right now or more known? Because I already have an idea for a matchup.
Is it between a lesser known and a better known? And this is just an on-the-spot matchup?
You might want to edit this one out because I can tell it right now. And we can
Let me
okay.
tell you, I'm not going to remember to edit this.
lesser known one,
Feels
Goat
bad.
Man, and then we go to
Damn, you really just... I am going to have to edit this shit out.
yeah.
I thought you were going to... Damn, I better not drop anything else. I don't want to, like...
Alright, then I guess, should I just edit out one of those?
You can do whatever you
Just
want.
edit out that entire chunk of that
Yeah.
conversation, and then I can just be like, oh yeah, we'll do like go. I'm thinking.
No. I'll leave in all this discussing and I'll just cut out the names at, like, when you said them.
Hey guys, if
Goat
you
Man.
thought...
Goat Man.
Goat Man. Alright. I
And
like
with
this.
a little more known one.
I mean, I even feel like Goat Man's kind of known. They have a Goat Man bridge.
Well, they also have a Goat Man picture that's pretty fucking like everyone knows this picture.
I mean, Goat
When
Man...
you say Goat Man picture, it makes me think of that Slender Man picture where he's just standing there with the
No.
2 children, and I just imagine him with a goat head.
No,
now.
I mean, goat men are all over. Like,
I'm surprised you
mythology,
haven't
too.
seen this one, bro.
I've
'Cause
probably seen it. I just can't recall it yet.
I feel like every horror story I would like listen to, they would always have this as like a picture there.
Oh fuck! I've seen that.
Oh
shit.
shit! Yes,
God,
I know
that
that
makes
one.
me-
Yeah.
Ugh, imagine just being in the forest.
And then you see
And
that
you got your
picture,
camera,
like,
you
you're
just
walking,
snap
like,
a flash on your camera, and that's all you see
and
for like
it's
a
literally
split
reaching towards you,
second.
bro. So you're like,
Does he have a goat beard as well?
No,
No.
it like
No.
and his oh god, his mouth is fucked up.
That's a cursed picture. That is a
Damn.
cursed
It is, it's a
fucking
nightmare
picture.
This
fuel,
is
bro.
gonna be a heavily edited episode.
Alright, I think that does it for this episode. We managed to stretch it out to about the hour point. It'll be a little less
It'll
after
be cut
editing.
down. Yeah.
But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Next episode's coming out in 2 weeks, and hopefully by episode 5 we have everything up
Oh
and
yeah,
running.
that's the other thing I wanted to put out here just at the end. We are officially on a 2-week schedule now, so you'll be getting one of these every 2 weeks for the foreseeable future from now on.
Yep, we're dropping
They're dropping them
every
on
other
Wednesdays.
Wednesday.
Yeah, every other Wednesday for as long as we can do this thing.
Yeah, and we got more ideas for the future. I don't know. We want to just keep that under wraps for now.
Yeah,
You'll
we
maybe
won't
hear
drop
more.
anything. We're not going to promise anything that we're, unsure about fulfillment on
Yeah,
yet.
we
But
have some goals that we're trying to get before we just throw any of these ideas out here.
we want to hopefully eventually get to a higher tier of podcasting, if any of that will give you a little bit of insight into what we're trying to achieve here. But
Yeah, but for now, that's gonna do it. For this, what is it? Today's the 28th, right?
yeah,
It's
today's
28th.
February 28th.
I mean, right now it's
2021.
actually
No,
the
it's
first,
actually the
but-
first now.
Oh, well.
But
I
guess
just
that
looked
does
at
it
my
for
bare wrist. Let's go.
that does it for this month's first episode of Cryptid versus Cryptid. This has been Matt,
Andrew,
And Roger.
and that's it for today. See you guys.
later.